through 75 counties and hundreds of investigations, from the most violent crimes to petty infractions. This is Arkansas Crime Watch with Kevin Kelly.
Fast-moving cars heading down interstates in Little Rock find themselves in the crosshairs of someone armed with a paintball gun. And tonight, state police are investigating. Good evening and thanks for watching Arkansas Crime Watch on Fox16.com. I'm Kevin Kelly. The shooting's extremely dangerous, especially when traveling 60 miles per hour down an interstate. Police reports indicate they happened on I-630 and I-30 near the bridge to North Little Rock. Our Susan El-Khoury talking to one of several victims.
This all happened along a pretty busy stretch of 630, and state police say they've gotten several reports from drivers who were hit. That's why they're warning anyone who's going through this area to just be careful.
Traffic might be flowing, but there's one driver who'd rather take the long way.
It was pretty frightening.
Than get caught on I-630 in Little Rock again.
It was a really loud, hard hit directly beside my head.
That memory is why he's not sharing his name to avoid being targeted a second time. Just like when he snapped this picture of paint dripping down his car.
Immediately when I got out of my car, I could see a big orange splotch.
He knew right away someone with a paintball gun was using cars on the interstate as moving targets.
I'm glad it didn't immediately pull off the road. It might have gotten hit again.
Other drivers gave state police similar stories and shared these photos of their cars. All the hits happening as they passed the Battery Street overpass.
So this person was presumably here for several hours shooting cars on the freeway.
The mark of that washed off without a scratch, at least in this case.
Or made me swerve and hit another vehicle.
But as he reflects on what could have happened.
My whole family was in the car.
That's now his driving force to stop this.
It's not funny. Grow up and get safe.
State police are stressing drivers just keep an eye out, and if your car is hit, you can make a report with them. In Little Rock, I'm Susan El-Khoury. Back to you.
Police in North Little Rock are investigating a homicide after a man's body was found. It was located in a vacant lot in the 4400 block of Rogers Street at around 8:30 Tuesday morning. 24 hours after the discovery, police identified the victim as 28-year-old Devin Wiggins. According to a police report, officers noticed trauma to his body but did not provide any further details. The case is still being investigated as a homicide. The Pulaski County Sheriff's Office arrested this man earlier this week in connection to a homicide. Joseph Villarreal is accused of shooting 37-year-old Nicholas Winter on May 9th at his home in the 2300 block of 145th Street. No word yet on what sparked the shooting, but Villarreal is now facing a first-degree murder charge. A man accused in a Searcy murder has been arrested. 18-year-old Robert Hurd has been taken into custody by the West Memphis Police Department. We're told he was found at a family member's home on Thursday. He will be returned to Searcy and charged with capital murder in the death of Eric Callis, who was shot to death on April 29th. Caught on camera, a robbery suspect targets a direct auto store on Colonel Glenn Road. Watch closely as the man wearing a face mask walks into the store on May 13th at around 2:30. He then confronts an employee and climbs up on the table, but that's when he slips and falls. He quickly gets back up and demands money from the employee. Unclear how much he got away with. The suspect was last seen walking east on Colonel Glenn Road. If you recognize him or know where he is, call police. He is considered to be armed and dangerous. Pottsville police also asking for the public's help identifying these two suspects. They're wanted for attempting to break into several pharmacies around the Russellville-Pottsville area. Watch closely as the guy at the top of your screen tries to throw a brick through a window to bust it. Then the other guy turns and right there, he runs smack dab right into a pole. The two individuals are also wanted for pharmacy break-ins in Pine Bluff. If you have any information, contact police. The Garland County Sheriff's Office is investigating after a cemetery was vandalized over the weekend. Many people came out to find items broken or stolen from their families' grave sites. Our Claire Kreitz spoke to family members who spent hours cleaning up the mess.
This cemetery is usually where loved ones come to get comfort and closure.
She was my everything.
But this place of peace shattered in a matter of moments.
We have to spend our day out here trying to clean up a grave that's supposed to be memorized and decorated, not devastation and chaos.
Monday, Nolan Wilson got the call Cutter Morningstar Cemetery, where his grandmother was laid to rest, had been ransacked.
And when we got here, it was not the prettiest sight in the world.
Flowers were knocked over. A fairy was broken into several pieces.
It was like 20 years old. It sat in her little garden with her gnomes and stuff.
And a necklace, now missing.
My aunt had got it homemade. My grandmother was a recovering addict, and it was made by recovering addicts trying to get their life together.
Wilson was among dozens of family members cleaning up the mess left by vandals over the weekend. When Becca Jones came to check on her 2-year-old son's grave,
I dropped to my knees and just started crying.
She saw most of the items placed by his headstone in pieces.
Things that we bring in here and we put here that meant so much to us had been broken or, thrown against his headstone.
While she can bring more flowers or crosses, some of the things can't be replaced.
His grandmother had painted him some beautiful blue angels, and those were also thrown and broken.
Now, as she sets what's left back around his grave, she finds the bright spot in it all.
The biggest thing is, his headstone was not broken.
But looking at the now empty space, she still has one question.
I just want to know why.
And that was our Claire Kreitz reporting. If you have any information about the crime, be sure to call the Garland County Sheriff's Department. A University of Arkansas professor arrested on federal wire fraud charges. According to a criminal complaint and an affidavit, Simon Eng is charged with 1 count of wire fraud and faces up to 20 years in prison. The complaint states he had close ties with the Chinese government and never mentioned it, despite being required to in order to receive grant money. As a result of his actions, numerous wire transmissions were made that otherwise would not have been made. Turning now to our crime tracker report. Bryan police are investigating the theft of a 1976 17-foot Terry Bass boat. It was stolen on May 10th from the side of I-30 westbound around the Spring Hill overpass. The trailer carrying the boat ended up with a flat, so the owner left it there to get another tire boat. When he returned, the boat was gone. If you've seen the boat or know where it might be, call the Bryant Police Department. The Little Rock Police Department is looking into getting new body cameras. $194,000 for the camera is coming from a federal implementation grant from the Bureau of Justice Assistance. The remaining $566,000 will come from the city. The department has been testing out various types of these cameras.
Where we have 250 cameras where each officer will be able to have those body-worn cameras.
If purchased, every officer on shift will be wearing a camera as early as June. Board members are scheduled to vote this upcoming week at their agenda meeting on the purchase of those cameras. Tonight's Mug of the Week goes to Mr. Paul Criswell. The 54-year-old was booked into the Saline County Jail on May 14th for battery in the first degree. No bond was issued. As we leave you, here's a look at Arkansas's most wanted. We want to remind you all of the suspects you've seen tonight are innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. Remember, if you have any information on any of these cases we talked about tonight, you're asked to call your local police department. Thanks for watching Arkansas Crime Watch. I'm Kevin Kelly. Be smart, be safe, and if you see something, say something. I'll see you tomorrow night on Fox 16 News at 5:30 and 9.